breaking news tops the news at 5 o'clock. A shootout is underway in Southern California involving the man that police believe is the ex-cop blamed for 3 murders and targeting other LAPD families. Law enforcement says the shootout began right here in the San Bernardino Mountains after a report that Christopher Dorner, the suspect, was involved at a burglary in one of these cabins here. We'll keep watching this for you as it unfolds, and of course another update as it happens, and then again at WJBF News Channel 6 at 5:30.
And coverage you can count on begins now with plans for better transportation in the Augusta area. Georgia state leaders said last month that a new transportation tax would pay for 50 road projects locally, and at least $6 million would go to the city to be used for other transportation needs. Now, some Augusta commissioners say expanding the bus service is a priority. And as WJBF News Channel 6's George Escala reports, if the city keeps the service as is, taxpayers could get out of paying the operating loss.
If you ask Augusta bus riders, service not only needs to get better, it needs to get bigger.
They need to expand the areas. They need to take the time and find out from the different companies when certain shifts in.
6 commissioners meeting to discuss the future of Augusta public transit with the emphasis on expanding service.
We've heard from corporate executives that a transit system is absolutely necessary.
No details on how or where service would be expanded or at what cost, but the new T-Splosh could provide $5 to $6 million for funding bus service. Transit currently loses about $4 million a year. And instead of using T-Splosh money to expand service, some want to see those dollars used to offset the loss to taxpayers.
Obviously some that feel strongly one way and some that probably feel just as strongly the other way.
There are also strong feelings about mobility, the private company hired to run the bus system. Commissioners say if service is expanded, Mobility's contract would need to be rebid.
So in my mind, we would go out for competition, and they could possibly be the ones that would receive it.
Nothing came up today about putting this contract out for bid. Why fix something that isn't broken?
Well,
we're doing a great job.
The third item there
we're doing
proposals for transit.
They didn't address that today, and I don't expect that they will address it because we're doing a good job.
When it comes to Augusta's bus system, it looks like a bumpy ride. In Augusta, George Escala, WJBF News Channel 6.
Later this month, transit officials will present a plan from Mobility for expanding bus service that will add 2 routes and, quote, augment 3 others.
Real quick, we promised you updates on this situation in California. The AP, now quoting sources, is saying 2 officers have been wounded in that shootout with the suspect in the California mountains. Again, we'll keep you up to date as events warrant. In the meantime, tonight we get a first look at the future of 15th Street in Augusta. Changes to that area are part of the Augusta Sustainable Development Agenda. That is funded by a number of grants. The open house will start at 6:30. It will run until 8:30. That is tonight at Josie High School. Meanwhile, the future of Aiken County schools up for debate when the Aiken County Board of Education meets tonight. The 5-year facility improvement plan, as it's called, is up for discussion. School leaders say the plan includes improvements to Gloverville Elementary, North Augusta, New Allenton Middle School. Aiken High School, of course, broke ground in a new athletic and science facility back in September. The plan is reconsidered annually based on whatever is needed most at the time.
WJBF News Channel 6 has learned that Richmond County School Superintendent Dr. Frank Robertson will recommend that Alfonso Williams becomes the next BOE police chief. Williams took over as the Waynesboro police chief in 2011. Dr. Robertson will make that recommendation at this afternoon's board meeting. The position opened up after Chief Patrick Clayton left to work for the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Tonight's City Council election in North Augusta could have a big impact on the entire CSRA. The fate of Project Jackson, which would move the Augusta Green Jackets baseball team across the river, could depend on election results. 4 candidates, including 2 incumbents, are vying for 3 seats. Most voters we spoke with say the candidates' position on the project helped them choose.
Well, I think this new idea about putting a ballpark down here has me a little concerned because I don't think you should take away from education for recreation.
You can head over to Riverview Park to cast your ballot. The polls close at 7 p.m.
President Obama will deliver his State of the Union address tonight. The president's aides say it'll focus heavily on the economy, mainly calling for revitalization of the manufacturing sector. They also say he'll push Congress to avoid deep spending cuts that are scheduled to begin automatically on March 1st.
The president will talk to the American people tonight about the things we need to do together to have the economy create more jobs, have it continue to grow, have it create a foundation that allows for steady further expansion in the 21st century, well beyond our time here.
The president also expected to discuss gun restrictions and announced that 34,000 troops are coming home from Afghanistan right about this time next year.
Patterson Bridge Road in South Augusta is open tonight. The road was closed last week because a section was washed out. But the threat of more rain still has folks who live nearby worried that the temporary repairs will not hold until the permanent construction begins in 30 days. News Channel 6 meteorologist Jason Nappy is live in the newsroom tonight. And Jason, even though the road is open, some people who live there are still worried.
Jenny, about 5 inches of rain has fallen at Bushfield since last month. And while that has really helped the drought, it has not helped the people who live along Patterson Bridge Road.
It's really hard for us. We had no way in or no way out. And because the road that they put us on was also completely washed out in different places.
Robert Monk remembers driving over this bridge last Friday, completely unaware that the bridge was about to give out while he was on it.
We go across and we see the washout, and then we pull up a little ways. And then we go up to actually look at it, and it is just crumbling away underneath your feet. And that was, we got out of the way and went home with our hearts pounding.
Monk tried to take the detour set up by the county on Chalk Mine Road, but got stuck in the mud with his car. The only way I could get through the detour was with our four-wheel drive news truck. Richmond County workers have temporarily fixed the road. It will get a more permanent fix in the next 30 days. And the man who helped Robert Monk out of the mud says that's good enough for now.
But as long as it's passable right now, it's a tremendous help. That Chalk Mine Road is it's a total mess.
But the threat of more rain has folks who rarely use the bridge worried what will happen next.
Yeah, that's probably really a scary thing, to happen for it to go out again. I wouldn't go over it. Especially not until it gets actually fixed, because the cracks and all.
If those heavy rains cause more problems in the next few days, that could mean big trouble for people who live here.
Or if something did happen, nobody could get in to help you, like a fire or a robbery or God forbid, a heart attack or something, ambulances and stuff like that.
We will continue to follow up with Augusta Engineering on the progress of the bridge repair. If you have any concerns, send me an email by going to our website, WJBF.com.
It has been nearly 2 years since James Gillette Jr. was killed at the Bel Air Conference Center in Columbia County. The man accused of killing Gillette pleaded guilty last month to the involuntary manslaughter of the 19-year-old. Jondrick Barnes was sentenced to 5 years in jail and 2 years probation. Now, as part of that probation, he is also required to participate in a new program that both Gillette's and Barnes's family have created. It is called CSRA Saving Our Students, the group working to raise awareness about bullying while stopping teen violence.
Right now, we're $800 short from our Inc. That's INC Incorporated. Once we get the INC, we can apply for grants, such as the new bullying grant that is out there that we want to apply for.
Jondrick Barnes will give anti-violence video messages as part of the group's awareness efforts.
You may have gotten a text message recently that could cost you your bank account. The University Health Federal Credit Union has been getting calls from members letting them know that they've been scammed. The text message tells the person to call a number, and once they call, they ask for your debit card number and the passcode. Credit union employees are informing members to ignore that text.
We're not going to ask them to enter their number, or especially their PIN number, because these texts are also asking for PIN numbers. We will not need that information. And so just if you receive a text message or phone call or anything of that kind asking for that information, hang up, ignore the text, notify your credit union or your financial institution, and let them know that you're receiving this information.
The bank has filed over a dozen cases since yesterday.
Sheriff Richard Roundtree making good on one of his campaign promises, starting an intelligence unit. The three-man team analyzes 150 crime reports a day. The reports go into a database. The system finds similarities. Then the intelligence unit tells deputies where to patrol and what to look out for.
So again, they'll start seeing more police presence in the areas where they need it the most, and not just officers riding up and down the streets.
Sheriff Roundtree says this unit tracks crime trends and then stops them before they become full-blown problems. Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, our exclusive look inside the new intelligence unit.
They help serve and protect alongside law enforcement officers, but now some local canines need your help. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office has joined forces with a nonprofit organization, Project Paws Alive, to launch a new campaign. The goal is to reach out to the community to help them raise thousands of dollars to purchase some life-saving equipment for their police dogs. The 10 dogs on the force have vests, but they're either old or they're getting ready to expire.
Having these vests for our canines is extremely important because they're in the same environment that we are on a daily basis. And as you can see, we wear our ballistic vest when we're out on the street, and this will provide them protection against gunshot wounds and stab wounds as well.
Here's a list of what they need. $1,400 for a bulletproof vest. It's stab proof as well. $350 for a field trauma kit and $200 for a cooling vest. 100% of the money donated would help each of them receive a ballistic vest, the cooling vest, and first aid trauma kit. We have a link on the WJBF News Channel 6 Facebook page if you would like to donate.